Alrighty, so I'm going to go over lab procedures for my class. We do a lot of labs and hands-on activities, so it's really important that everyone is on the same page as far as responsibilities and stuff as far as that goes. So this paper is just a list of all of the different rules as far as doing activities in my class goes. I'll go over these really quick, and then you'll take a lab safety test just to make sure that we are all on the same page and that you understand all of the rules. So rule number 1, I will act responsibly at all times. This is very important because in a lab setting, if you are not acting responsibly and messing around, things can get broken, people can get hurt, and we don't want that to happen. So just make sure you are doing what you are supposed to. Following directions is also extremely important. If you don't follow directions, you can do the lab incorrectly, you can get a bad grade. So just make sure you are following directions. If at any point you are unsure about what you are supposed to be doing, please ask before you do the lab wrong and have to redo it all over again. Whenever we do a lab, there typically would be equipment laying around. Do not touch any of that equipment until I tell you to. Again, that's just so you don't mess up anything, don't break anything, don't do anything incorrectly. Only do the things that I tell you to do. You can't go off on your own and make up your own experiment. So all of those are forbidden. Just follow the directions, do what you are supposed to. This is a big one in my class. Please keep your table and your area around it neat and clean. I'm not your maid. I don't want to have to clean up after you. I have Clorox wipes and a broom by my fish tank if you ever need to clean something up, if you spill anything, whatever. This one, number 6, isn't as important. It says to wear appropriate safety equipment, goggles, apron, whatever. We never do a lab in here that requires goggles, but if we did, then I would obviously hand them out. We don't really do anything that requires an apron either, so that doesn't really come into play. But if it did, you would have to wear the appropriate safety things so you don't burn your eyes or get anything on your hands. This is another big one too. If there is ever like a spill or something breaks, please come tell me. Do not clean it up by yourself because I don't want you to get cut on any broken glass or anything like that. So just tell me and I will handle it. Again, this one isn't as important, but if we are working with chemicals or flame, you would have to tie back your long hair, baggy clothes, dangling jewelry, because we don't want any hair catching on fire. This is another big one. Do not take anything out of the room without permission. Don't steal my stuff, basically. This one kind of comes into play. Number 10, I do have a class pet in my room. His name is Gmo, written like that, and he is an axolotl. He is a aquatic salamander, meaning that he will never fully metamorphosize and come out of the water like frogs do. He spends his whole life underwater like a fish. Even though he's not technically a fish. So with Gmo, treat him with respect, obviously. Do not stick your hand in the water. Don't feed him unless I tell you that you can. But he's adorable. He's a cute class pet to have. He'll come into play more when we do our genetics unit, but for now, don't touch him, don't feed him, just admire him, and we'll be good with that. This one is another important one. Do not put anything in your mouth until I tell you. We do several labs that involve candy where you get to eat things, but again, do not eat anything until I tell you that you can. Washing your hands is a big one. Sometimes we do messier labs where you need to wash your hands before and after. Again, this is cleaning. Clean everything before and after you leave. Put everything back if I tell you to. Usually you'll leave it out for the next class, but if I tell you to, just put your stuff back wherever I tell you to. Throw things away, as it says in 14. 15 doesn't really come into play because we don't do a lot of chemistry, but if we were, pretend that everything is dangerous just in case they actually are, and don't touch or smell any chemicals until I tell you to. This one is a big one. Don't go in my closet, specifically the one that's locked anyway, but don't go in my closet or mess around with my stuff unless I give you permission, because again, things break. I've got valuable stuff in my closet, so don't mess with it until I tell you to. This is another big one. Handle glass with care. We do use beakers and test tubes that are made of glass, and last year a lot of them broke, and I don't want them to break. So be careful when you're holding glass things. Hold them with both hands, and if anything is hot or broken, don't touch it. Let me handle that. For 18, we don't really use microscopes in here, but if we did, you would carry them with both hands, one on the arm, one on the base. If we were dealing with scalpels, you would cut away from yourself, so you don't accidentally stab yourself with a scalpel, because that wouldn't be good. 20, if we were using burners, you wouldn't leave it alone. You need to watch it if it's lit. And then 21, this one's important. Know where the safety equipment is located. My fire extinguisher is located in my open closet with the sink, so if anything were to catch on fire, you would obviously be able to run back and get the fire extinguisher. I mean, tell me first, but I would go get the fire extinguisher. It is located in the back of my room, so that is where that is if there's ever a fire, which hopefully there's not. So these are the basic safety rules. Important thing, remember fire extinguishers in the back. Don't touch broken glass. Make sure your area stays clean. And let me know if anything breaks, and don't make sure you're following the directions and not doing anything unless I specifically tell you that you can. So let me know if you have any questions.